Welcome, everybody. This is episode 35 of She Loves It. Woo, woo, woo. And today I'm joined by, oh my God, two of the most incredible humans you will ever have the privilege of meeting. I will introduce them in a moment, but I was just saying to them before, kind of a little invocation for this episode, and I realised I want to bring you guys along for the invocation. Because if it's safe for you to do so, just close your eyes for a moment, because the beings I have with me today are agents of transformation. They use voice for sacred activation. So if you are able to open your heart to the frequency of what they are sharing in this episode, you will receive that medicine, you will receive that activation, you will receive that living transmission. Ladies, I invite you to share from your fullest multidimensional truth everything that is here to be shared, because that is, both of you, like, one of the things that has just blown me away meeting you both is the depth of frequency that you carry, and you kind of function at different frequencies. And Emily, I know a little bit. Natalie, I've known for several years, but to see you two working together and combining has just been the most magical thing. Okay, guys, so we've got Emily Doe and Natalie Farrell, who are the team behind The Power of Us. Ladies, can you introduce yourselves, please?
Oi, toro moya, nada, ikutoro. Big kisses to you, Rach.
Thank you. Received.
Yeah, big kisses to you. My name is Natalie. I'm a singer. I'm a voice activation guide, transformational guide, and I'm an agent for radical beings, just like Rachel and Emily that are in this room, who are soul-led entrepreneurs wishing to get to their fullest expression here, as you said, a being, as a human being. Yeah, that's me. So gorgeous to be here in this energy. I feel the energy. It's really, really, really alive.
Awesome.
Me too. Me too. It's rising. Hi, I'm Emily Doe, and I am an author and an artist, and that is quite revelationary. Just introducing myself like that. I've had many landing moments recently where I'm like, hey, I'm doing this. It's been quite a journey for the last couple of years, but I have written a book in that time. Actually, within the last 14 months, I've written a book, and I've got a new book knocking on already. I'm also writing and recording an album. I've already written the album, I'm recording it, and I'm writing another album. I basically am just living in, I know you talk about this creative sabbatical, Rachel, quite often, and I am in it. And I realized after listening to your last episode that I listened to, that I've been doing that since November 2023, and I'm not ready to come out yet. But I am ready to come out in like moments of shining, and that's what the power of us is really about for me. Like, it's my way of kind of cultivating and curating and giving myself and others that opportunity to stand in their truth and shine their brightest. So yeah, that's me.
So I met you recently. Well, we're recording this and it is the end of July, and we met in Equinox in Glastonbury through the amazing Nicola Humber, and you and I just hit it off like straight away.
Orgasmic, great.
It was orgasmic. It was like everyone was laughing at us because we were locked eyes, like faces like inches from each other, just like chat. But we instantly hit it off, didn't we? Of like chatting all things voice, all things magic, all things creative. And then you said to me, oh my God, I've got to phone Natalie. And I'm like, Natalie, what? So how did you and Natalie come to be creating The Power of Us?
Can I go with this?
Yes, you go.
I first saw Natalie on an Instagram live. She was being interviewed by Nicola Humber, our lovely galactic goddess, Nicola Humber. And Nicola Humber is head honcho. She's the woman, the force, the power behind the Unbound Press.
The rebel
And
leader of the
The
Unbound.
rebel leader.
Star
Rebel
Wars
leader,
reference.
that's the one. That's the one. All the things, all the wonderful things. And I've written a song especially for Nicola, which I'm so excited to share at the next event for the Power of Us. More on that maybe later. Um, so I saw Natalie on an Instagram live. I was at the beach this time last year, actually. It was the beginning of August, and Natalie was just about to bring out the audio version of her book, Light the Way. And I knew, like, my whole body just I think I actually jumped out of the chair, like, almost. I was just like, my body like sat, I was lounging in my sun lounger, and I was like, whoa, who is this lady? And I immediately messaged Nat on a direct message on Instagram and was like, hey, I think we need to meet, like, in a few more words than that. And I remember Nat coming back to me and going, oh, yeah, let's do that. And then obviously life is life. And we never really, it didn't quite land and we never met. And then a few months later, or maybe just even like a couple of months later, I was at a writing circle that Nicola was hosting online, and Natalie was in the room as well. And Natalie was like, this woman talking about song and singing. And so Natalie was like, who's this lady? Not realizing, not putting two and two, I don't think. And then I remember Natalie putting out a call for other women. I don't know if it was just women, but other people to join a sister. It must have been women because it was the sister soundboarding sessions, where you were talking to another author, Lorraine. And and I just went, I need the details. I want to come in the room. And he sent me them, and we had this most amazing conversation. And we were just straight in there talking about the pineal gland and song and all sorts. And yeah, it was just beautiful. And afterwards, I sent Nat a private page that I had on my website, which is all about how I can help other conscious, spiritual, soul-led, heart-led entrepreneurs. And I want to work with people who are aligned with my own kind of visions and missions in life. And Nat came back and said, I think this is for me. And I'll let Nat tell the rest of the story.
Oh, thank you very much. Passing the torch over to me, or the microphone. So I thought, at that point, for me, I knew that I wanted to create an event that celebrated the power of the human voice, and the human voice in terms of connection, the viscerality of when we're speaking out, when we speak out our stories, we speak out, our truth, and how it is passed between the energies of people, and it helps to open people up. And that's one thing that I am, and I've always been described as, heart on sleeve person, and the work that I've been doing in the last couple of years has opened me up even more. And I didn't realize how much shame my body was holding, and I have really released that through talking, through owning up, admitting things that I never thought I'd be saying about myself, and it's just created a whole clear path. So the event, I knew it was going to be an event. I knew it was going to include other people that are on my wavelength, or above or below. We resonate together, we create those harmonies together. And I said to Emily, I'm looking perhaps for somebody to help me, to lead me to the water. And I knew it was going to be on the 22nd of May. And that's the rest is what we will dive into today.
So good. So good. And it's so funny. I've put Nicola Humber in the show notes because, like, obviously it's Nick, right? But that's how me and you met, Nat, as well. Do you remember?
Yeah,
I've still got you in my phone as Natalie, write it in brackets, the writing challenge from Nicola's writing challenge in November 2020. November 2020. That's when we met, and we just hit it off instantly. And we had that vocal connection, and I did work for you, you did work for me, like we did an exchange. And it was one of those, like, I mean, I know I've said this to you, but maybe many moons ago, but like working with you, helping, you know, because we did a vocal activation. And for context, everyone, Natalie is a professional opera singer. She's a professional opera singer. She, like, when we talk about vocal activations, we're not talking about helping you sing. Like, Natalie does not, she knows how to sing, man. But the work we did was different work. And it was one of those moments in life that your generosity of spirit, of letting me, like, craft, you know, do something that I'd been working on privately and quietly in my own voice, in my own heart, in my own work, working, like, doing a session for you as a professional singer, and the way that you so genuinely and graciously and lovingly responded to our session, it gave me the confidence to really believe, fuck, I'm onto something here. I'm onto something. So I will, like, forever be grateful. And anytime anyone asks me about my journey, I always tell them about that. So, like, it was just such a gift. And yeah, we've kind of stayed friends ever since. And you really, like, for years, you've been sharing light language on Instagram. And I'm always in awe of that the courage to be so open and available and to share that, because I suffer from feeling weird much quicker than you do. You're just like, whatever, bitches, I'm bringing the light language, loud, proud and public. And again, that's just given me so much confidence. It's that thing, isn't it, of we're all walking each other home.
Yeah, we've been talking, haven't we, just in the last few days, because I mean, me and Nat are now in kind of constant contact with each other, which is just amazing, amazing. And we're just talking about, like, flirtation and like how we just turn each other on, you know, particularly at this point in our lives, you know, we're all women of a certain age, and lots of change is happening for us at cellular level, as well as, like, you know, what we want to experience in the world, and, you know, what is it that turns us on, you know, and we aren't really turned on by each other, like, a lot of the time. And it's just so lovely to be able to just kind of recognize that and see that, and that's what I see in Nat a lot of the time. I see that real flirtatious behavior, and it's like, yeah, go girl.
I'm so happy you see that. Yeah, like we were just chatting before we came on here, you know, flirting with life, and, you know, the frequencies, and, you know, the frequencies are taking me into that field of not the mind field, but the play field. And if I'm playing again as my inner child, little Natalie is super, super happy now. You know, she's come in her rainbow top today, and, you know, she used to play a lot, and now I'm playing so much more. And you know, Rachel, what you're talking about the light language, that's really also very beautiful. Thank you. I received that because I remember when it was back on Wellbeing Radio, which is where I met Nicola, and I remember interviewing a lady in Australia about light language. And of course, none of this is coincidence. You know, it's coming at the right time. We're remembering. So that everything is within ourselves, within our DNA. I know for you both, it's gene keys and human design. For me, my DNA started getting the 12 strands of the DNA started getting reactivated in 2020. Now, there's no coincidence that it was happening in that year as well. You know, it was, if everyone remembers that year, it was a very important year. A whole heap load of new light was being influxed into our planet. We're in the age of the golden consciousness, you know, and come through to the age of Aquarius now. So for me, I remember being on the boat, going back home to the UK, And Freedy, my soulmate, saying to me, "What are you doing now?" I was sitting on the floor and I was like, I'm just this, it's something called light language. But so for me now to hear you say that is just beautiful, because I all I can do is trust. And when I show up, which now I've blown into glow up, you know, we're always evolving. We are an evolution, and that's why trust is so important, because to hear you say that means if I didn't show up in that way, where would I be now?
I
So
love that
listen.
Freddie said that to you. What you doing now? What's this all about now? Because
What?
that's so resonant for me in my own life. You know, like I'm a manifesting generator in human design, and I am constantly switching it up all of the time. And you know, I shamed myself for that for many years, because it's like I tried to stay with things for far too long because I didn't want to seem like flaky or like I couldn't last the distance. When, you know, really truthfully, it was like you're just ready for something new. You know, there's that seed of something new, and it's kind of like we got to go with this now. And, you know, being able to discern what to start, you know, what am I able to stay the distance? That's part of my soul's purpose here, is to kind of really learn to nail that piece. But you know, like the fact that I'm now writing and recording a whole album of songs, like again, I absolutely believe that I would not be doing that, not in this year anyway, if it hadn't have been for my association and my relationship with Natalie, because you know, like that was an opportunity that came around very directly from being in Natalie's presence. And you know, being in that recording studio back in April and recording two of my songs, which I had been telling myself, oh, they're just these simple little songs that, you know, maybe I'll share them in circle at some point, but you know, who's gonna wanna hear this? It's like I don't actually care anymore who wants to hear it. I want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to have this experience for myself. And I have said on a couple of occasions that it was the best day of my life, and I stick by it. I was so ecstatic that day being in that studio, and I cannot wait to go back in, because and I then was like, whoa, that, you know, these songs are coming through me quicker than I can like write them down sometimes. And then I remembered that I cast a spell and asked for songs to come through me. So it's like, well, am I really that surprised? But that is now happening, and it's like, no, I'm not. It's like I'm realizing my power, and it's awesome. It's
Oh,
awesome. And it's been activated through this relationship.
yeah, and we're in this triad today, and I love that, and I want to reflect it all back to you both. You know, you both inspire me so much, and my promise at the beginning of the year was May the 22nd, and bringing Emily in, and I said to you, you're my accountability partner. You're going to keep me on track. You know, we had a lot of tears. We both had tears. We were both, you know, helping each other to expand. And with you, Rachel, with that session, I remember going back into the temple. We were in Egypt, and you know, your voice had been cut, and your voice is influencing my voice, and that is all is one. That is at one moment, you know, one moment we are together in this, and that is what, you know, that is it's just my truth. That's what I'm here to be. And share.
You're a unifier, my darling. You are a unifier.
Yeah, unify her.
Unify
Yeah.
her.
And there's a
Wordplay, love it.
there's a thing in the gene keys as well about when in the prosperity sequence, when you come into your culture, that when you really start to embody that specific sphere, that specific gene key, it activates your fractal line. So people who are on the same fractal line as you, like, suddenly start appearing. And it seems to me like the symbiotic relationship that you two have of co-activation and like that titillation and like that frisson, that's the word I'm looking, like, how good a word is that frisson that your energy fields create together when they flirt and they dance and they like woo, they amplify each other. Like, that is classic fractal line magic, you know, and the
We
magic.
have that as well, Rach, right? We
No,
all have
yeah,
that
and me,
between all
like
of
the
us.
triad, like Nat said, the triad of us, and
The divine trine.
yeah, the divine trine.
Do you remember our conversation in Glastonbury where I told you about divine trine?
No, no,
I
I don't. I
Do
was
you not? Where we were
overexcited.
having that gorgeous lunch together, and I was talking about Divine Trine and how I saw it as a three-piece kind of band, you know, three
Yeah, I've
women.
forgotten
Yeah.
that. Oh my God. Because I don't see my, and Natalie's doing light language right now, activating the fuck out of this, guys. So receive, receive, receive. You guys listening? Receive, 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 okay? Woo! Ha! Yeah. So I didn't see myself. In fact, I'm only just, thanks to both of you and a couple of other people, but very much you two, I'm only just starting to see myself as a singer, which is crazy because I've sung in inverted commas professionally for 10 years. And by professionally, I mean I'm a sound therapist. That I am a proper professional at. And as soon as I started sound therapy, like I did a training, and whilst I was doing the training, my voice, like I started hearing the sounds I needed to make in the baths that I was doing. And it was like, I was explaining it to someone just now, and it's like, I couldn't not do it. Couldn't not make those sounds. And without fail, the participants would tell me it was your voice that just got me. It just did the thing that needed to be done. And no one was doing, like, that wasn't something I learned. That wasn't something anyone taught me. That wasn't something that was on the training. And no one, I can assure you, no one else was doing that weird ass shit that was coming out of my mouth. But it was like, since then, I've worked with my voice. Actually, I suppose before that, I was doing kirtan singing very badly, but very enthusiastically. But yeah, it's like the trying. I think I still don't. I haven't made the leap into it yet. Haven't made the leap. I still think of my voice as like a priestess voice, essentially. And I think that's something. I was just having a really good chat with someone about the perception, like one of the things, in fact, this leads really neatly into the power of us, because I am desperate to share with everyone listening my experience of the power of us when I went in May, and I have deliberately sat on it and let it marinate in my being rather than sharing it on my podcast up until this point, because it blew my tiny mind. It blew my mind wide open.
Right.
It's so good. But so the discussion I was just having was like the need that we have to reclaim singing, dance, community, like reclaim singing, dance, and other, at risk of sounding like I'm appropriating something, like activities that once would have been community activities without any performative qualities to them. They're not about performance. They're not about aspiring to a certain level of professionalism, of perfection, of like separation between I am the performer, you are the audience, and I've reached this level. Because it's like, that's what we are reclaiming. We're reclaiming the humanity in voice, the humanity in movement, like the connection that builds, the unity that builds, the coherent heart fields that builds, the joy that creates. Like for me, I feel so strongly that my work in some capacity, you know, stepping into building a priestess training and whatever that means, it's like that absolute embodied reclamation of letting even people like myself who don't think they have the best voices, understanding that's not what it's about. Understand?
Can I say something here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I say something. So I'm going to mention that word ekasha. So ek being the void, ka being the primal sound, and sha being the light. So as it was in the beginning. So that's where humanity is going back. That's why sound healing has been making a resurgence, because human beings are coming back to understanding what sound does for them on a, you know, an unconscious to superconscious level. And we don't need, as you know, obviously, and I met you as the gong goddess. And those pictures that I saw of you, I was like, who is this? Like, I want to be in this presence. I want to be in the presence of this woman, you know. And that's so we're taking away. Thank you for mentioning that I was a professional singer, but the professional aspect of it stripped me of all my confidence. So I stopped singing. I hid. And I also hid in a lot of behavioural traits from the dysfunction and the emotional unavailability of, of my upbringing. But no longer, and it's all our glory story, isn't it? We learn, and if we choose to keep up leveling, we learn from that. So this is where, my passion comes in, because that's comparison. You're competing with yourself, you're judging yourself. Sound is sound. We're going back to the primal sounds with the work that you do, what comes through me. I sit in a studio. The last track I created, I had 3 or 4 words. Okay, come through me now. Make the tune. I put a drone in, and then I start creating, and it's literally, I'm creating with myself. I'm filling myself up. I'm flirting with myself. I'm trusting myself. I'm shivering all over as I say it. Yeah. And that's creation. Yeah. So this is, and we're going to see it more and more and more and more, that people are going to come back to soundboarding. And so the work that you're doing is just, both of you we're all doing together is just incredible, and as I sit here and listen, I feel super, super grateful to be in this space with you both. Like, it's divine. We have that confidence,
Yeah, I wanted to I really want to hear your experience of the power of us in a moment, Rach. But I just want to add to that in sense of what's coming through me right now. And we've talked about it, Rachel, when we've gotten together, to say that, there's something, like you were saying, like, that's been lost about singing just for singing's sake, and for devotion to self, to community, to that kind of, togetherness. And it was taken into churches for many, 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 many hundreds of years. And there's something about my work and when I write songs, and I think yours as well, which is kind of, it has that vibe of like singing to spirit, singing for spirit, singing those kind of like hymn-like qualities to our sounds, to our songs. But it's more ancient than that. It's more ancient than the religion aspect. And so I'm really, really happy that that is now coming through, and I can feel just through the act of doing and writing songs and just playing with sounds, playing with words, just writing about my experiences in life. And what's happening is an identity is starting to develop. Like, so many people, I think, wait for the identity piece before they allow themselves to be seen. And actually, it comes through the act of doing and walking the path. And then you start to emerge. It's like, okay, now I'm understanding, because you have to live it, I was saying, I wrote a song about the moon 2 weeks ago. I've been wanting to write a song about the moon for a little while. And I sat down a few times and I was trying to force it. And it's like, no, it's not coming. And then that amazing Capricorn full moon happened on the 10th of July, just gone. And I was watching that moon and it was talking to me. And I was like, okay. I was sat with my partner. I was like, there's a reason why I've not written a song about a moon yet, because I hadn't lived this moon. This moon is the one. And so the next day the song came. And yeah, so I think the power of us as well. It's like, so many people are like, well, it's not me, I haven't really got anything, I've not anything worthy of that kind of attention. Well, actually step on the stage and guess what's going to happen? Magic is going to happen, because you are activating yourself and you're activating the people around you to interact with you and co-create with you. And that's how you live. That's how you really, truly go on an adventure with life.
And we have that precedent. It's unedited, unscripted. unpolished, unrehearsed. This is a space for people to come and explore. And what you've just explained to me sounds like the playfield. Yeah.
Incredible. It's so resonant with me as well, because like the vocal activations, I did it first in 2020, and I've known since then I should be doing them, and it's only February this year that I decided, fuck it, I'm just going to offer them. And doing them, suddenly so much information is activated from the act of doing. And I just think you're so right. Like we so often wait to feel confident. We don't have the courage to do things way before we think we're ready. But actually doing things way before we think we're ready is exactly how the magic happens. It's like, I think you just articulated it so well. It like really resonated, especially because of where I'm at in my life at the moment. It really resonated with that. And the devotional piece with the devotional singing, like, hell yeah, that's all I got. Hell yeah, like I feel that so deeply in my heart. And yeah, I used to do kirtan because like devotion is my path, right? I have been devoted to the divine ever since I can remember. And yeah, I loved kirtan. For those of you that don't know, kirtan is devotional singing from India, and it's mantra. It's very simple. It's call and response. It's in Sanskrit, which is a activated language in and of it. So there's a special term, isn't there, for a resonant language, but I can't remember what it is. But it's a very special language, Sanskrit, and these kirtans are ancient. And honestly, it was my favorite thing in the world to lead those kirtan sessions, because I don't know, the kind of the joy and the way, like it's like shivers through your whole energy field. Like everything, the tingling of my aura felt alive. It's just, the joy was so palpable. Couldn't even stay contained in my body. And then you'd turn around and people would just, my kirtan teacher used to call it the rivers of the eyes. And people would be sobbing, but not from pain, not from sorrow, just the sound and the mantra and the connection would open the rivers of the eyes. And it was just one of the most, I feel teary telling you guys about it, but it was sublime. And it doesn't feel right to me to sing in Sanskrit, someone else's deity, someone else's, lineage, because I'm a woman of Exmoor. Like anyone that listens to this podcast will know, I am a woman of Exmoor. I am a woman of these lands. And there's like, you can feel the songs alive under your feet. And I'm just really excited for the day when they come back to me and I can start sharing them. And I think there's something in the three of us being together. Like, I know, Nat, we've talked about when I come out and work with you, that's clearly going to be part of what we bring through. But Emily, I know we're like putting some exciting things together. And yeah, it feels like being in the presence of magic. So anything else anyone wants to say before I tell my story of going to the power of us?
Oh, yeah, I want to mention, you were talking about the kirtan. So I've never chanted before. I've never learned chants because it didn't also feel right. But in the last 3 weeks, I've met with an incredible woman where I live here in Spain. And that has introduced me to the Anahazi Maya language, which is the original. You know, we talk about light, but it's God. It's the language of the universe. And so I now know that's why I've never been attracted to the kirtan, or because this is pre, this is way before. And then that brings me to, before you share your experience, which I can't wait to hear and receive, is the power of us.
Now.
No, the power of us is universal streamers. So it is the people who open themselves up to pour forth the energy of the vibration of the makeup of the universe and also the metaverses, but also Earth, because Earth is part of the cosmos. You like because we live here and we're so like not even 3D, we're so like 2D, 1D. It's like, well, but we are part of it. So that's the universal streamers came through. That's what us is. It's yeah. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Reclaiming our cosmic identities.
Yeah, cosmic streamers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the power of us. So let me just tune into it for a minute because I feel like I've really built this up. And there's basically two things I wanted to say. So in classic Rachel style, I've got way overexcited and built it right up. But yes, so guys, here's the backdrop. Emily invited me. She was like, "You have to come to the Power of Us." And it was in Tunbridge Wells, which is a really long way from where I live, a really long way. But it happened to be, of course, the same weekend I was going to London to do Mind, Body, Spirit. I'm doing my session in London at the Soundstage on the Mind, Body, Spirit. And my friend, our very dear friend, I can't claim her for my own, although I am representing Sarah Lloyd wearing one of her branded t-shirts. Yes, Sarah. But she was going and she was like, "You can stay in my room. It's all good. We'll have an amazing time." So I was like, I am there. And then when I got there, I had the best drive up. Like I was on cloud 9, living my best life coming up. I got there. Not only was Emily there, not only was Natalie there, but our whole little gang of amazing humans that I met online in 2020 of people that I just absolutely adore and feel so safe and so comfortable with. And we went to the venue, me and Sarah, and Emily and Natalie were there, and it was before it opened and they were getting ready. So I felt very like VIP because I was kind of behind the scenes with the movers and shakers. And loads of my friends were speakers and things like that. And this venue, oh my God, the venue was insane. It had artwork on the walls that was like achingly cool. Must have had like 100 grand's worth of artwork on the walls. There was so much artwork. It was exquisitely decorated. Like I'm a woman that notices expensive details. I will notice exactly what kind of soap you have in your bathroom. Not people I love, but when I go to a fancy place, I'm like, I'm Joe Malone. Okay, noted. So it had like every single detail at this Club Quantum. I'll give them a shout out too. Every single detail at Club Quantum was just incredible and on point. So I was excited about that because everything is the vibe, right? Like there's a vibe in everything, what you wear, the jewelry you adorn yourself with, the spaces you put yourself in, like they all carry vibrational reality. Club Quantum, there we go. And I was like, yes, these are the spaces I want to be in. And honestly, guys, I had no clue what I'd signed up for. I literally had no idea. I just paid my money, got my ticket, and I'm like, I'm there. People I love are going to be there. Natalie is like, this is her baby. Emily's got involved. Like, I know this is going to be the shit. I don't know what shit it's going to be, but I know it's going to be the shit. So roll on. Like I had this brilliant time with all the ladies that were kind of part of the crew, and we're in the audience and we're part of it, you know. We all went out for dinner, had amazing dinner in bougie restaurants, and just it was just everything that I love in life, you know. Amazing conversations, amazing humans. And then roll on the event and it is packed, like standing room only, absolutely packed. And there's this row of glamorous, beautiful speakers all sat on these velvet stools on the side. And then there's like this grand piano, and it's just stunning. And this beautiful lady sat at the piano. And then next thing you know, the piano starts playing and this voice starts, and you're looking around, you're like, where is it? Where is it? And then Natalie, I don't know, floats through the crowd singing, like activating as she goes, singing into her mic. And she looked off the charts incredible, off the charts incredible. And you could feel as she moved through the room activating the event, you could feel the ripples of Natalie's energy field activating people as she went. And like she got to the front and I was just already, my heart was exploding and I was just like, I'm in the right place. I'm meant to be here. And the whole evening, like I say, I didn't know what to expect.
Shivers.
I know. Natalie wrote a book called Light the Way. And in fact, I was one of the people that read for her with her. I read Venus. She wrote these incredible poems at the start of every chapter. And what she shared with us at the start of the Power of Us event is that she'd recorded all the poems, and then synchronicity had led her to this incredible pianist and songwriter in Tunbridge Wells, and they had, much like the theme of today's podcast, they'd hit it off, they'd found each other, and this woman's like, I'm going to write songs for each of your poems. That's right, isn't it, Nat?
Yeah, it's so right. Yeah, it's so right.
She went away, she wrote incredible songs for Nat to sing with her poems. So Nat would sing the poetry and she would play the songs, and they would just, oh, honestly, it wasn't like being in a performance. It was like being part of an emergence. That's the best way I can describe it. So Natalie had curated several different speakers, artists. There was a ballet dancer who was like dancing in between, but then also had her own song and her own voice she was sharing. And between each one, Natalie was kind of like the anchor or the frequency holder that held the energy for the entire event, sharing the poetry songs from her book interspersed throughout, with each poem/song dedicated to the next speaker. So it was kind of like a transmission that happened to introduce each person that came on. And I know, it was amazing. It was amazing. And what struck me, the thing that I took, like I came home, and even though I go, like, for context, guys, if I'm up past 9 p.m, that's a big deal. That's a really, really big deal. And this event, I looked at the program. I was like, says it's going on to 11. Well, that must be a typo. No one stays out till 11. We did. Shock horror, we did. And even then, I had to go home and I had to write notes in my journal, because I'm like, I cannot forget the things I'm taking away from this. Like, this is a moment in life where you get initiated into a new pathway. So yeah, that was the power of, like, that's one element of the Power of Us. And the things I took away from it was, I'm watching something be born in real time in front of me. I sat there with this like I say, standing room only, mesmerized, captivated, turned on, tuned in audience. We were one with the people on the stage. We were one with their courage and their, like, magnificent truth that they were sharing. And my thought was, I'm witnessing something be born in real time here. This is how things are meant to be done. Not the way we've been given thus far, of separation and perfection that actually isolates us from, like you said, Natalie, isolates us from the truest parts of ourselves, the truest transmissions of all that is, and isolates us from each other. But what I got from the Power of Us was the literal inverse flip side of that. It was, this is truth in real time. This is people showing up in real time, allowing everyone to connect and join with it. So that was one of the things I was like, fuck, I'm here for the revolution. It's happening. I'm seeing it right now. This is it. And I need to be part of it. This is amazing. So there was that. There was like the sheer incredibleness of each performer. And I say this, you could say imperfection could be used as a criticism, and that is 1,000% not how I mean it. It was the perfection of the imperfection. Like
Yeah.
no one was polished, but but they were awe-inspiring. It was like the true transmission. You know, again, it's building on that idea that the perfectionism actually disconnects, whereas the truth connects. And it was, yeah, it blew me away. Like each performer, I should just say at this point, I will come in depth to Emily's performance, but Emily was also one of the performers. She was the emerging artist. I will come back to that, I promise. But each person that took to that stage came and brought something that was uniquely them, and that wasn't, it was like there was no pretense. It was allowing themselves to be completely who they are. The next thing that struck me, which I just, again, was part of the like, oh my God, I'm witnessing something being born in real time. Like this is something new that I've never, ever, ever, ever seen before. I've never, ever seen a space like I've experienced a field like what I experienced at the Power of Us. I've never been in a space like that where there is no ego at all. That knocked my socks off, and that made me write in my journal and say, I can never create from a space of ego again.
They say thank you. You've learned that lesson now. Yay. They say thank you.
Keep reminding this human brain.
Yeah.
But it blew my socks off. I was like, I can't feel any ego in here. Mm-hmm. There's none. There's no, you know, for people that maybe aren't in the same, don't move in the same circles and world that we do. Things like this normally, they are, I'm going to tell you my story as an intro into what I want to sell you. So it's like, there's always the pitch behind it. There's always the pitching yourself as the expert, pitching your thing as the solution. People talked about their offers, they talked about the magic they bring, but somehow there was just no hint of ego in the whole space. And what did we have instead of ego? What did I feel instead of ego at your Power of Us in May? I felt, and in myself, I felt this surge of genuine, overwhelming delight and joy in other people standing center stage, sharing their gifts unapologetically with the world. It was like, it wasn't like, oh, look what they're doing, or I wish I was doing that, or anything like that. It was just like, I'm so proud of you right now. Oh my God, look at what you're doing. Oh my God, she's done that and that was amazing. And then she's done that and that was like, and he's done that. It was just, it was so incredible to feel that. It was so different. And to have, like, it made me realize how rarely we come into a space where there is no ego. So rarely does that happen. And the next thing I'm going to say, I did have a lot I wanted to say about this. Do you want to say something, Emily?
I want to say something. Thank you so much for everything you have just said already. And I want to just recognize how much intention had been put into the creation and the birthing of that event on the 22nd of May. And between Natalie and I, you know, like, we held ceremonial space between the two of us, and we continue to do that because we are so intentional around what we want people to experience, but also without holding too tightly to that, because we don't even know, you know, in it really, you know, how this is, what this is activating. But I am here. I know, I've known this for a while. I am here to usher in that revolution that you spoke about, that change. And this is one of the ways that I can actively be in service to that revolution. And I actually was inspired to write a song off of the back of the Power of Us on the 22nd of May. And it was something that Nicola Humber had said, coming back to Nicola again. And it's called We Sing. And I feel called to sing that song for you right now, because it is what I think what we're talking about. Yeah. We sing to remember, we sing to rejoice, we sing to reclaim the truth of our voice. We sing to regroup, come together in song. We're here to move mountains and truly belong. The earth knows our power, she's guiding us home to beauty and love, beauty and love. Our body knows the answer, her wisdom is clear. We're finding the courage no longer in fear.
Woo! Oh God, it's beautiful. I love it.
And I'm going to work on that song actually with a dear friend of mine, Zoe, who is coming to lead a song at the next Power of Us event, which is in Bristol at the Radnor Rooms on the 13th of November this year. And because Zoe's going to be there, we're going to go work on some harmony for that and bring it to everybody on the night. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that along with another song which I've written for Nicola, which is super exciting as well, and a totally different, like upbeat kind of number.
So good. I know that you sent me that song the next morning, and I was listening to it with Sarah Lloyd, and we were just like, oh my God. So that was amazing. That really was amazing, and I think it does capture what you guys were doing there. There's two more things I need to say. So the other thing, coming back to, of course it was intentional. Like, that makes so much sense when you share that, because as someone who's highly sensitive to energy and stuff, I could feel that. I could feel there was something different and very, very special about what I was seeing. And our, again, mutual, very dear friend, Rosie Peacock, was there doing the photography. And the next morning after the event, we were all sat around in the Premier Inn. How very 3D of us, but it was cool. We were all sat around in the Premier Inn chatting, and Rosie was showing us the images she'd taken. She's a photographer, and the videos she'd taken. And she said something that really struck me, and I feel is really important. She was sharing how she started off, for the start of the night, she was being professional Rosie, and she was trying to get the right shots, and the shots that you should get when you shoot a event, and like she had a professional head on. And she said, and then suddenly this moment happened where I realized they didn't hire me to do that. They hired me because I can hold the frequency of what they're transmitting. And she just let herself go.
Oh my goodness, I'm shivering.
I've had so many full body chills the whole conversation. I'm loving this.
I was so excited to share this because it really did something for me, and I've been sat on the energy of it, wanting to share it with people and wanting to relive it, and wanting to bask you girls in your glory, because it was something new, truly new. So final thing, so I think I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to say, but the final thing I wanted to say was about Emily's performance. So Emily, and I use the word performance loosely, but Emily was the emerging artist, which is something that Natalie offers. It's how, in fact, could I get you guys to explain that bit? Because that was what the emerging artist was. And
yeah, of course. So the emerging artist is a 4-day one-to-one retreat here in my home in Spain, and it offers the artist, and we're all walking artists. That's what I'm saying. We're creators. So we're in our creation. Offers the space to get creative. Doesn't necessarily have to be with the voice, but to expand into the creation. So it's something that came up for us while we were plotting and planning, and yeah, so we get to work together and get to go into the studio and experience what it's like to be in the stream, to be in the moment and create in the moment, because as we've covered in this, that then helps us to shed the fear or really face the fear. And I just said I've learned this week to swap the word scared for sexy. So you're going to get into the studio with me and you might be super scared, but you're going to end up being super sexy, you know? So yeah, transmitting and transmuting the energy through it being in real time. So that's what the Emerging Artist Retreat is. There's nothing like it. Not one is going to be the same. And Emily decided to take on the emerging artist. So she, instead of being the event manager, she emerged into the emerging artist. And on the evening, if I can say this, Emily, I said to her, look, be the artist, because it's something she wanted to be since she was 16. And we've had some very private moments in our conversations. I said, be it. Be everything that you need to be. And the floor was hers, you know. So
It comes back to that word intention again, and also, you know, like what that does for you going on the Emerging Artist Retreat with Natalie is it creates very dedicated space and a pause away from, you know, I'm a single mum. I got two kids, they're 12 and 9, and it's busy, you know, my life is busy and there's so much distraction all of the time. And I do create, you know, I'm prolific at creating. I'm always doing something or other. But, you know, just having that dedicated time that was just for me. And, you know, I went there with a song, the one that I sang on the night, and we recorded it in the studio, but another song came through and we were able to record that one as well, and it's possibly the one song that I am the most proud of at this point in my journey. And I'd love to gift that to anybody who's listening. Maybe we could add the link for the power pack as well, because people can download that, along with some of the other gifts that were given by the speakers from the event on the 22nd of May. But yeah, you know, it's just this tiny little ditty of a song, which I was like, you know, oh, what, you know, again, it's just a little thing, but actually it's huge, you know, and to gift yourself that pause, that moment just to rest and really serve your own spirit, you know, we all need that.
I love that so much. Yeah. Serving your own spirit. And Emily came down and she said, Natalie, can I sing you a song? And I've actually really loved this whole connection between us, because, you know, it just feels so pure when you sing to me, and I receive that. But then I realized, oh, I think this is probably what I offer to other people. And I sing a lot, you know, when I'm speaking, even, and speaking kind of poem and poetically, and so it was beautiful to receive that. Rachel, I just would like to come back on this kind of concept of intention, and the revolution. So back in I think it's about 2021, I wrote a series for Brains, which was all about the soul-led entrepreneur and the soulpreneur and the soul revolution. So, you know, I think I've been walking this path for the last 4 years, and this event was always going to come. And so you're not the only one that said that there was no ego. Buxo Dillon, one of our speakers as well, said she's spoken at many events, that she'd never felt that way, you know, that it's just everybody is unified, you know, it's all about unification. And also Pearl Jordan, who was there, she's like, I've been to so many events, but the brewing you created, I've never felt anything like it. So yeah, on to the next one.
Woo!
On to the next one. We got Power 13. Oh, am I still here?
Yes.
Yeah, am I still here? We got Power 13 coming up. And can I say
it? No, because I'm not sure it's going to happen yet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You're going to come and grace us with your presence?
I am. Yes, I'm definitely going to be on the stage.
Yes,
I'm definitely going to be on the stage. I was saying, and I mean, I'm not one for keeping secrets. I'm like you, Nat, and you, Emily. I'm one for wearing my heart on my sleeve. I literally have a podcast which is like sharing my stream of consciousness. I am committed to going and doing my own emerging artist retreat with Natalie at some point, and the goal is to start in September, which would make me the emerging artist for the power of us. But I am so wobbly. My energy is so wobbly from one moment to the next that I'm like, yeah, I'm not. What am I trying to say?
You're speaking with us though, right? You're speaking.
Yeah. I'm definitely a performer. I know exactly what I'm going to do already because it's going to be I'm really excited about it. So guys, okay, I just want to big up Emily one more minute and then we can big me up. So you guys,
my phone has got like 10% battery, so I'm
going to cut us off in a minute. Right, let's be quick because we should wrap up anyway because we will just talk forever because these are so cool. But all I wanted to say was Emily came on, it was dark. She was wearing a gold lame bikini with a long dark robe over it, but open. She had crimped hair. You had gold on your face, didn't you? You had boots, little gold boots. She looked otherworldly. And she stood in the middle of that stage and she sang and she danced. And suddenly I did not know what planet I was on. I did not know what I was witnessing. I was like, is she channeling ancient Egypt right now? Am I in is this the Aztec realm? Like, am I on this planet? What dimension is she managing to cross into? It absolutely blew me away. I was like, I've not seen anything like this before. So I just wanted to say that because I imagine that was Natalie just said it was a long-held dream and you smashed it out of the park and you did it with such originality, such creative genius, such integrity, such authenticity. And it was, I often think about that because it was like the whole look, your voice, the sound, the whole thing came together to channel so many different energy fields. It was incredible.
I love that you've said that. Thank you. And I receive all of it. And I'm just like constantly having body chills. I'm recognizing now that I've written so many more songs since then that there is just this multi-dimensionality to everything that I do. And I'm learning to trust myself and my own creativity and really kind of hold it with as much respect as I do for other people's creativity, which I've not done for a really, really long time. So thank you so much for that.
Magical. So magical. So that leads us to wrap this up. I hope that I have really transmitted how I feel about meeting these guys, about getting to co-create with them and about what they have already created. And the very, 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 very exciting thing is they're doing another one of these events in November 2025. And I will be there on stage with them, which I'm so excited about. And tell us about the next one in Bristol. You did say where it is. The Radnor Room's going to have to look that up. Send me a link. Tell us about the next one.
Go, Nat, you say.
Yeah, and I was just going to say that each, because we're taking these to different venues, different cities, different countries, that each one is going to hold its own resonance. It's going to be different. This feels very much like a ceremonial space, and yes, it's on the 13th. It will follow the same format with performers, speakers, and we're also running a workshop in the afternoon. So Emily, you might want to talk about that. So that's our new addition.
Yeah, well, at the end of the last event, I don't even know if it was even planned. It was probably just we were in the flow or in the frequency. But Natalie was inviting, people to the power of the sacred yes. And our workshop is going to be all around the sacred yes. It's kind of committing to yourself, and we've called it fully in the sacred yes. And so it's a voice activation workshop, and it's just people can be met at wherever they're at with it, really. It's not necessarily for singers. Anybody that is wanting to have more confidence in their voice, anybody who's wanting to express something that they've maybe never expressed openly before, reclaiming their own truth, being witnessed. I'm super excited for it. I'm super excited for it. It's helping me to look at, what I bring just through the work that I already do with the people that I already work with. And I'm kind of gently starting to infuse and weave some of these themes in. And it's been life-changing for me, just speaking it out loud. It's what my song, The Call, which I performed, is all about, it's all about being heard. And even if you're speaking into what seems like the void, you're speaking to yourself, it is heard and it is felt, and magic is being cast when you do that for yourself. So yeah, that's what our workshop is all about. I'm super excited to host that in the afternoon. And then the next day there's also another offering. Natalie, do you want to quickly say about that?
Yeah, so the magic happens. We were in the moment of the magic, and Rachel was there, and so we've decided to have a after magic brunch. So inviting 12 women around the table to integrate and seed all that they have infused in them into this brunch and the after magic, and that's going to be in the Peacock Room, in the cozy room. So we're
Cozy Club, yeah.
The Peacock Room, yeah.
Yeah, the Peacock Room at the Cozy Club, which is literally a minute around the corner from the Radnor Room. So everything's super, yeah, together, and it's in the old part of the city. Yeah, it's going to be a magical event and gathering again. I'm sure of that.
Can't wait. I literally can't wait. And it's making me think, like in real time, oh, maybe I do need to just publicly commit to being your emergency. Maybe I do need to actually just call it in. It's just without wanting to bring the tone down, like I'm in such a period of flux of not being able to hold energy in the way that I used to, not being able to call things in and be consistent. I've never had a problem with that. And at the moment, with this period of transition that I'm in, I'm not feeling like my normal self. My normal self, like I'm at such a bad bitch, and I'm known for being, I pride myself on being audacious and courageous and jumping before I'm ready and just going big and doing the thing. And there's just a part of me at the moment that is really reluctant to do that, because it doesn't want to commit any part of me in the future, because it doesn't know how it's going to feel. Because I've been in this flux for like 18 months now. And so it's one of those that it's a funny space to be in, truthfully.
We will trust, but also for your listeners, if they wish that for you as well. And they can, I see you being carried by the waters from your listeners. And, to all your listeners, it's such a beautiful place to be here in community with you. And, let's see, let's
everything that we've said about, no performance, no perfection. It's like we're jumping into play. We're just jumping into play with each other,
It's not that
claiming
part.
That.
It's literally just the money part of it. It's the committing to the financial part of it, where I've been at 30% earning capacity for 18 months, and it's really taking a toll. And every time I try and launch something, my heart's not in it. And I'm such a powerful manifester. When my heart's not in it, that's exactly what I manifest.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's what it is. Because that is what's holding me back. And that is where the reality of where I'm at. And,
And I think this is such a truth, because it holds us all back. It holds us all back. So, we'd be grateful for this conversation. We'd be grateful for what we're speaking, and the right thing is gonna happen at the right time.
And you know what, Rachel, you're in anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whether I emerge or I don't emerge. I do know I'm going to Natalie's. But I thought I was going to be. I thought. I don't know. I'm about to take 6 weeks off for the summer holidays. Like I'm about to fully switch off and just completely relax with my family and I don't know where I'm going to be in September, but when I have conversations like this, it does leave me so turned on. And when I was at the Power of Us, I felt so turned on. Like, and I can tell you, well, you guys will get it. Like, when you go through perimenopause, parts of you that led suddenly have left the building. So the part of me that led for most of my life is the part that would have publicly said, I'm going to be on this radio show. That old Rachel, pre-perimenopause Rachel, would have said, I know because I know myself, I'd have said, I'm declaring it publicly to the universe right now. I am making this shit happen. But that part isn't here.
Yeah.
That part, I'm laying her to rest, and the new, softer emerging I don't know, there's an honoring, I think, that's happening inside of me of like moving into a new phase. And I guess it is exactly what you're talking about as well, of like absolutely trusting what is emerging and trusting the shifting sands and trusting, like, you know, being brought together with you guys, knowing we're going to go on to co-create, knowing I will be in Spain with Natalie when it's exactly the right time, because it will have happened. And I can feel something's brewing. I can feel it. And I know there's an aspect of jumping before you're ready that you were talking about, because I've been feeling this with my own vocal work and my own priestess work. I can feel the downloads are getting ready.
Yeah, and there's something around the word expectation, you know, like we hold on too much to an expected outcome, and we're quashing the magic, you know, like that's unfolding, that we just can't even see it coming round the corner. Like it is coming round, and we can bask in the glory of that, knowing that something amazing is coming and it's already here and it's happening and we're living it.
Exactly. Right now, expectations are resentments in construction. That was the old self. We're bringing forward this, frequency, not force. And let's leave it there, Rach, because I believe, and that's part of my work as well, is I'm a visionary. I see, and I hold a very open space for that to be delivered. if we're talking about birthing. Yay. Oh, I love you so much.
You too, both of you. And thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for finding each other and the incredible revolution that you are creating, and for bringing so many of us with you and touching so many lives. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. This has been She Loves It. And if you did indeed love it, make sure you go and follow Emily and Natalie. Make sure you tell your friends about this podcast. Share it with them. Pump it into their ears. Tell them all about the magic we're quietly over here transmitting into the world. And if you haven't already, leave me a 5-star review. That would be a really incredible thing to do. And just for shits and giggles, let's co-manifest that Spanish retreat for me, so I can be the emerging artist in a gentle, easy way. Boom, done. Boom. Activate. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye. I'm going to stop the recording now.